Wagwan Alien Mob. Real quick, before we get into the video, I just want to remind y'all of three things. First off, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And to yous who keep coming back and not subscribing, me, I talk to you. Subscribe, because you know you want to. I don't know why you not do it, but do it. Second thing, make sure you join the Discord to be a part of the community bigger and better and join the Alien Mob, get to know each other and all the other Alien Mob members. And third thing, make sure you cop your Alien Mob apparel at amobgear.com. There will be much of different designs coming in and cycling through over the months and so things. But as you already know, enough wasting your time, we get into the video now. Now we can truly pick up where we left off on Bridging the Rift. Here, I think we left off where we found out who the developer and the leads were, of course, by behind Arcane, and the timeline a bit. And now we're going into what this is called persistence, or when your best still sucks. I wish there were more esports video game documentaries. What is truth but a survivor's story? Arcane Season 1, Episode 5.
Managing Fortiche is like, sometimes I feel like a band manager. Like, guys, you're doing whatever you want, but I want you on stage at this time for the concert and the gig. And they're always on time at the end. So you have to trust them.
Hey. That's actually been proven. Those are the best type of jobs where you let people create on their own, but give them a timeline and a stamp and let them function. But like, yeah.
So we are in 2017, and everybody is working really hard to deliver the pilot. And then we had a discussion with Riot, explaining to us that we're not happy with the script, with episode 2 and episode 3. At the end of the call, we were like, have they really said that? I think we have misunderstood them. When we arrived in LA, and then it was, hey guy, yes, we want to do a pause on the production, put everything on hold. We were like, oh my gosh, that was true.
Yo, this editing and this team, bro.
Everything is going to shit right now.
I guess that was pretty much at the point where they had drafted together a couple of scripts and sort of a show bible for the entire
Hello,
season.
Jane.
The next thing I know, Christian mysteriously gets pulled into a meeting, and then it was like a strange intervention where a bunch of other rioters basically told him that it sucked. It was such a blow to the team to just feel like, man, we're being told to stop completely and potentially even find different showrunners, different writers for the whole thing.
Damn.
You know, you've been killing yourself, you know, to try and make it work and try and figure it out. And you, like, just, I mean, your first thought, of course, is just like, is it dead?
We were really only able to hire all these animators with the promise that there would be a full season to work on. They're very, very talented, and you really only get them if you have something kind of worth committing to.
Yeah, because it's like almost freelance,
And so we just kind of have this feeling like we're gonna have to tell all these people that we just hired, they have to be like,
Ooh, did they actually let them go? Fuck.
We suck. Like, we failed, you know.
That's
Christian's a torture.
I can feel that, because not really more so on the end of having to let someone go, but I've been on the end of being let go due to a project getting shut down or not getting funding again, or not being able to get funding because, or being told to be put on pause. And that was my esports job. That was the job that I loved. Bro, I had to drive an hour to and from that place. Didn't care. Loved it. Learned about so much of esports league. This was before Valorant became a thing, right? I was there. I got to be and do an article and a report. Like, if you look up UGC Studios, I hope their content's still there, because I'm about to save all those videos I did. I hope that TikTok's still there. Right? Boom. Yes, and it's all there.
Yo, what it do, guys? Welcome to ES Uplink, your daily plugin for all things esports with your favorite nerdy alien kid Zip. The 2020 2020 League of Legends Spring Split has officially begun. The League of Legends
Oh, I
Champions
missed this
Championship
job. This literally was my job. I didn't paid pay to me was great, but it in reality it was all right. But it was what they could do and made the best for me, and it was better than where I was coming from and got let go before. Learned so much, and that's how I deeper fell in love with esports and gaming. Love that place.
Can't let himself not do something great. Like he will will it into existence because he will beat himself up and lose sleep and go crazy.
There were a lot of times during my career at Riot so far where I needed someone like Brandon or Mark to explore some pretty wild ideas. You know, where a lot of people would say, like, no one in the video game industry has full-time composers, you know, like we can just hire someone from the outside as a freelancer to make some music for us. Or why would we make music videos?
He led the
insane.
music
Like,
team and
video game companies don't make music videos. Back then it was Mark and Brandon who kind of saw the idea and like how awesome this could be, and they took bets on, you know, me being able to figure it out. So then in the meeting, everyone left. It was just Brandon and me, and basically I think Brandon kind of took like the moment to kind of tell me, hey, like, we'll figure it out, you know, like, we trust you, you know, like, we'll figure it out. And I just started crying.
Christian's biggest fear is letting players down. He crushes himself over it. It's actually painful for those closest to him to sort of watch, and it gives you so much respect and appreciation and ultimately trust in what
Oh man,
he
felt that
decides
shit.
to take responsibility and ownership for.
Hello everyone. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about our decision to delay the further production of the follow-up episodes of Arcane.
I remember I think I've recorded like 16 different versions of this video because I just always was just kind of sitting there like,
And wanted to give you guys some more information about it, you know, why, what our plan is, and so on. And I'm sure you've heard from...
We did not show this. The question was, if we start with that,
He said, "Yeah, we didn't show that."
you will jump out of the window.
I finally made a version of the video that I felt like was okay, and I sent it to them, only to learn a few weeks later that they were like, yeah, we never showed it to anyone because you just looked so depressed. You look like you want to kill yourself. Like, how could we ever show that to anyone?
So it was like a harsh time.
So we had to let the team go, which is always very painful. You're not sure they're going to be able to come back because if they go to another production, you might lose them.
We knew that
Yeah.
for the months to come.
That
we started talking to
sucks,
different teams
man.
And started asking people, hey,
Damn, this
something
is hitting
we can do,
home.
like a music video or anything that could just keep, you know, the lights on at Fortiche. We talked to the esports team. And
Wait.
there was a desire to make a music
Wait. They did Rise. So Arcane was. You mean to tell me Arcane has been in the making from before Rise to late, and if Arcane never started, Rise and the music video animation and the skyrocket level would have never happened, meaning that Arcane I'm not okay.
which became the Rise music video. And then we started talking to the music team, and they were working on something like a crazy idea about a K-pop group.
No. So basically, Arcane gave birth to the visual premise of. Take over.
So they did 2 music videos with us, which I think are still some of the best, if not the 2 best, on our YouTube channel.
Thank God, Alex and I are shit at our jobs, because if we hadn't taken that extra time to develop the story, the KDA Pop Stars music video and the Rise music video would have never happened.
Ces deux clips nous ont permis aussi de résoudre certains petits problèmes techniques qu'on pouvait avoir qu'on avait pu avoir sur le pilote et d'affirmer un peu plus le style de la série.
So, you're welcome.
Oh, that's funny. Wait. They put themselves in it? That's funny.
Poor cripple from the Undercity. I was an outsider the moment I stepped foot in Piltover. I didn't have the benefits of a patron or a name. I simply believed in myself.
At that point, the idea was I had to replace myself as like the person in charge of figuring out the story. Of course, you know, it was me and Alex, but I was responsible. We just knew we had to hire someone who's experienced as a showrunner and as writers and that kind of stuff. And that's what we tried to do. Except we couldn't really find anyone. 6 years ago, if you pitched that a video company was gonna do like an animated series that is looking for like drama screenwriters, no one really showed up. Or it was just, you know, people were in for the wrong reasons, you know, where it was like, well, I mean, League of Legends and Riot is big, but they didn't really care about the characters that much. So we looked for quite a while, and at some point, we just felt like maybe we'll just kind of have to try again, but be less shitty.
And then, yeah, I mean, it was just start over, you know, like kind of look at what we do. That's when we started talking to showrunners, you know, like who could we bring in to just be an advisor.
That's when we found Monica Macer. You know, she was a showrunner. She worked on Lost.
Oh.
So I was really passionate about mentoring people, and
I
she
love
really
that
helped us
show.
Find
That was
the
a
right
really
way to
good
realize
series.
Our vision, you know, without necessarily being like, here's what you have to do. More just about here's all about the process of how to craft.
The
a
concept
scene,
of Lost was
about
wild.
developing
That's cool that
characters.
she worked on
And
it.
then we hired, you know, a bunch of writers who'd worked in various capacities in TV. So, you know, Amanda was one of those writers.
I know. It's so good. It's so good.
You're like always trying to get into the heads of your characters in any way you can.
Amanda.
I did have one of the writers teach me how to shoot a gun, like a sniper gun, right before I was gonna write Caitlin's episode last year.
That is a respect you have to depth of creation of one trying to just understand the shooter concept of a shooter character you're making. Anyone could just make it up, watch us a couple things, but you wanted to learn how to properly shoot a gun to get in the head of a character. Love that.
We're in my house, and I have a little office here where I do my writing.
Nice. Can you show me that?
Sure. Through the kitchen, into my nook. I have these lights I turn on at night to sort of inspire me. There we go.
They'll have scripts that they'll send over to you as kind of a sample of their work. And Amanda, I think with hers, it was comic book video game scientist, and her story was about a future world where we've colonized the moon. And I was like, this seems like it could be a good fit for us.
I would prefer not to have a punching bag in my living room, but that's just what we do right now. So I actually never thought about how my kung fu translates to learning how Vi's a fighter.
Rotten luck, boys.
But there's a fight scene in episode 5 of season 1, which is the episode I wrote. One of the things I'm like so proud of is it's like between two women with like a different body type, different, like both like really muscular. They're doing moves that you haven't necessarily seen women do before on screen.
Oh,
I
that's
always think of fight
nuts.
scenes as like being just like another talking drama scene. Like there has to be a turn, there has to be motivations. You have to learn something new about the character.
That's
in the fight
interesting.
that you didn't know before.
I'll give her your regards.
Ooh. Oh shit, bitch.
And then, of course, she's saved by another woman. 3 women in a fight scene. It's fucking dope. So.
You wrote that. That was a really good fucking episode.
Just really grounded emotionally.
I'm still mad I never got that sheriff in Valorant. I'm still hurt about it.
That Jinx was saying to Vi in season 1.
I want to cry
then, like,
that I wasn't able to get that shit.
And solved it in like, I don't know, an hour.
I want to cry so fucking bad when I think about it.
You could love me like you used to. Even though I'm different.
I almost cried during that first trip. And yes, for those asking, I will be rewatching Arcane since I only watched it the one time I did those reactions. So the second perspective will be coming back.
Man, I just wrote that, and Alex and I were just like, "Yep, that's it," and we just couldn't do that, you know.
I think the biggest change from the way that we were looking at it before was it was very plot heavy, right? It's very focused on kind of like what's the problem that has to get solved, who's gonna fight who. What I think most improved after kind of working with these writers was sort of like the emotional story for the characters.
I'm quite proud of the cold open too, the like whole beginning of the season with the bridge.
This was a crazy start to a series.
The cold open from episode 3 when Silco was drowning. I sort of went out on a limb being like, so guys, I know you hired me to help out with
Oh,
the
so
show
that
and
was the
whatever, but
original open. When Silco was drowning is the original cold opening. Okay.
you need to change the pilot. That's a lovely poetic image, right? But it wasn't telling the story of the series, which is these 2 sisters being torn apart.
Oh wow, she was smart in doing that because that did
That's
hit.
when I came in as a CEO, taking this big role with the idea of becoming a multi-game developer and a multi-game publisher, which on its own is a really difficult challenge to go from that one hit to multiple games. And then there was this little curveball, and oh, and by the way, we have this TV show, which probably is going to cost us, you know, a massive 9-digit budget. There is a lot of risk in this.
To be completely honest, Niccolo and I were always on like completely opposite spectrums. He's a business person. He's someone who's just extremely smart in like a rational way. He doesn't really let himself get carried away by like his emotions or like by his own personal attachment to anything. And I'm the opposite. I always have opinions. I'm always, you know, emotionally attached to
I'm more
stuff
of a
at one
Christian
time.
guy for sure.
I'm an artiste, I guess.
Yeah, I'm more
Christian,
of.
actually, I remember I bring him in my office to say,
But
hey,
you gotta appreciate and love the friends that are like him.
Season. He had done the pilot, and you know we paused, and I told him like we're not gonna fund a full season for Arcane. And then I told him like I think it's really important you understand why, because you and I can be on a different page, but it's very important you understand.
What? Then where did the funding
and the
come
reason
from?
I'm not going to validate you to move to a full season is because I'm going to allow you to move to multiple seasons. And so I kind of trolled him.
So what? It's confirmed we're getting multiple. Like we knew we were gonna get one more, but like,
A bit.
He pulled a bit of a prank.
And I think he was really pissed at me for this.
So yeah, he definitely gave me the trust that I needed to develop Arcane the way that Fortiche and our team at Riot needed to do it, you know, which was not the easy way, but like really this like pursuit of like, hey, this is what we think our audience wants, and it's ambitious and crazy, but we need you to trust us, and he did.
You need to stay committed to players because nothing's going to be easy. There will be many moments where you want to give up. I know Christian went through this multiple times. We went through this multiple times, and you need to have the grit and the courage to continue for players.
As we were looking at trying to scale a lot more, and then we had season 1 in production, and we started to think about how are we going to do the first development of season 2 at the same time. That's when we started looking for someone to help figuring out the production scale a bit more.
It was tough because we couldn't find the right culture fit. A lot of people kind of shied away from like, hey, this isn't normal TV. This isn't normal animation. I think I'm just gonna go, you know,
oh wow,
insert any animation studio out there, right? But finally, one time I got connected with a woman named Melinda Dilger.
Hey guys, come on in. Welcome. to Casa de Dilcher.
She just gives off a warm vibe. Who
I
are
work
you?
Here because of COVID. This is Willie Nelson. He's the boss of Arcane right here. He's in all the meetings. He loves it. He loves his job.
He's adorable.
Yes.
I just love talking to her. She had such a warm energy. She just also
she said
had
warm.
experience. Like, I mentioned some of the issues that we were dealing with, and she seemed unfazed by it.
This is where all my meetings happen. It's very exciting. This is where I burn off my energy. And I got that when I worked on Mary Poppins Returns, which is kind of cool. Yeah.
I hope I
remember
get one of
sitting
those one
down,
day.
all of the stakeholders, and I think I literally told them, you better not fuck this up. I like her. She's awesome. If you fuck this up, I'm going to kill you.
I was producing by the time I was 24. That was when I was really young.
Oh, wow.
I worked on Darkwing Duck. That was my very first animated show to be on as a production assistant. I was working on Goof Troop, Aladdin. I won an Annie Award.
Oh, you
That's
were on
kind of
all
a
the
big
good
deal
stuff.
Here. This is very proud of this. Very nice. I know whenever people tell me, they're like, oh my gosh, I watched that as a child. I'm like, oh, I'm so old. But it's okay. It's okay. You know, now everybody looks at me and they say, we're so glad we have somebody with so much experience on the show, which really equates to old, but it's okay. I can take it, you know. Riot's a very young company.
And I am rolling. All right, I think you've had enough, mate.
Yeah, the team health when I first started wasn't so great. Everyone was like, I was like, man, this team, they need some lovin'. They need some lovin'.
Making the show that we kind of set out with Arcane, you know, with the right designs for these characters that work in our IP, you know, this fantasy world. The pursuit of creative work is complex. If your expectation is that you're gonna work on something creatively where you're gonna have no pressure or no feeling of like being overwhelmed at times.
No, that's
if you're
facts.
working on something the world is gonna forget.
That is facts.
By then, I think I was super exhausted because I was like 3 years into the project or something. I know Christian was exhausted, Alex was beat, and like she brought in that new energy and just sort of this like, yep, let's pick it up and let's go.
How are you guys feeling? Are you exhausted? Right? Are you okay to keep going? From what I was hearing, it was just taking them a long time to kind of get their bearings. And let's face it, Fortiche, our animation partner studio in Paris, they had also never produced a series. So you have a bunch of newbies trying to figure this out. And lo and behold, it is really a difficult process and it's a challenging one, even for those of us that have been in the business for a really long time. You missed a really long, important strategy meeting that answers.
Oh, I fuck with the gorilla figurines.
That was the Rosebud meeting.
The gorilla's up there.
The Rosebud meeting.
Melinda was always someone that is extremely inspiring to the team and creating a team atmosphere where it's okay when things are tough, as long as you just kind of believe in the team and
That's good.
have the right dream together.
Like, well, you can get everything in New York. Like, oh, gee. Oh, God, I can't. Oh.
See, you guys didn't think you'd be on behind the scenes, and here you are. There's Eric Bergman, our post supervisor. Hi, Eric's used to all the publicity. Eric, you're on mute. See, this is what we do every Zoom call.
Hello.
Somebody's always on mute.
Hi,
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
I just came in and kind of rolled up my sleeves and went from department by department, just trying to get everybody together and get to know each individual on the team as a person. This is a French studio and there's no wine, but you have IPA.
It's like there's two teams, the beer team and the wine team.
Well, where's the wine? And that's part of building team trust. And then you can start to actually solve the problems. Dig deep. That's what you gotta do.
This is such a good documentary series.
So this is
like
our production
tempo,
schedule.
the parts they
March
include,
of 2020, that's when this started.
and it just shows
And then it
these
goes
people
all
in
the way
a proper
through
light.
The last episode. Because this is the first series Riot's ever done, a lot of things are getting figured out and developed as we go along in production. So it's taking a little bit longer than it typically would on a television series that's all thought out. Everything's figured out way ahead of time. This is like, how can we make this more unique and more special than any other show on television? Let's take our time and do it right. And if it takes us a little bit longer to get those scripts done, that's what we do.
There's a natural balance of power, and you just gave everybody nukes. Congratulations, you fucked up, right?
This is the thing that's always been a little fuzzy to me, is just kind of how we end this episode with the Victor Singe thing.
Yes, I would love to bring Vi back into Caitlin's mind in this episode in some way. I wrote like something about missing Vi that I have not solved yet either.
And to kind of like take the IP that's there from the games and turn it into something really awesome for television is a challenge. They're going to spend more money than most people to get it there, but they're doing it because they love the players and they want the players to be happy.
I want y'all to better appreciate what this company's doing. So when y'all are like degrading and talking down and being unappreciative of what is being done, understand everything that's going on. And at the end of the day, with y'all doing that still, they're still doing it for y'all.
And it's special. It's like you don't just see them as these little tiny things walking across the screen. By putting them on television, they have soul and they're deep and you can relate to them.
One of the biggest questions we had though was, can this be sustained over 6 hours? Will people watch something like this and fall into the immersion of the animation?
Yep, I did.
Do you actually have that quality to mesmerize an audience by staring at two characters, not saying a word? It's all between them in the air and the emotions. We all want to take animation to this place of mature drama, subtlety and nuance, style.
Oh, that shot right there fucking screwed my brain, bro. With Milo and them attached to Jinx like the ghost of them.
The air and the emotions. We all want to take animation to this place of mature drama, subtlety and nuance, style and innovation, but it doesn't exist, and I think we together can do it.
So good. So fucking good.